Okay, so I welcome you back for the second round of ILS Ignite. Yesterday we heard some six amazing people among us who have lived amazing stories. You know, while I was standing right there yesterday when Raghuvendra was telling his story, I could see people folding their shirts out. I could see people putting on their suit because everybody was feeling emotional, everybody was feeling cold. And I saw that when Aruna was speaking, you know, I felt why he was feeling so cold because his speech was so emotional. And when you're so emotional, you tend to feel cold. And we have again six stories today, people who among us who we attend classes with. And the first one I'd like to invite is Yashvika. Now Yashvika has you all know Yashvika, and Yashvika recently was in Antarctica. But the story is not just about Antarctica. There's something more to it. So I'll give it to Yashvika. With a big round of applause, Yashvika Mittal.
Much everyone for being here. Good evening, and I am Yashvika Mittal, and thank you, Mendy, for introducing me. I want to start off first with something very interesting. I'm going to be teaching you all how to make oil, a fun way to make oil. So what do we do first? We need to catch a whale, a big whale. Yeah? Can you just... Okay, there, got it. How about we start off with getting a humpback whale, or even say a blue whale. After we have the whale, we need to chop it, cut it into really, really small pieces. We take all these pieces together and we put it where? In a boiler. And your oil is ready. What do we do with this oil? Well, we use it to run your car, to power the electricity, or even to use it for cooking. That's exactly what our ancestors did, or our forefathers did back in the 60s. What really resulted is a drop in the blue whale population from the figure of 250,000 to just about 400. Thankfully, it's not the situation now. Because of the efforts of some leaders and inspiring work of people like Sir Robert Swan, organizations like 2041 amongst others, who've been working tirelessly and have dedicated their lives in not just saving Antarctica, not just protecting the wildlife, but to save it from the effects of climate, to save Earth from the effects of climate change. Sir Robert Swan said, the greatest threat to our planet is the belief that someone else will save it. Now it was this quote that inspired me, who was sitting in the audience, and I heard the man say, and that was the motivation that led me to apply to a program which took me all the way to a place which is called the end of the world, that is Antarctica. I was lucky to be chosen to be amongst some of the chosen few who represented India as a youth ambassador to spread awareness about climate change. I was lucky. I was lucky because I was accompanied by 80 other future inspirational leaders who shared the same vision. People who had the vision to save Earth, and we traveled far south. We traveled from the tip of Argentina all the way to Antarctica, as you can see there, and it took us about 2.5 days in the ship through the choppiest water, the most turbulent seas as it's known, the Drake Passage. We traveled to the far south, to the no man's land, to the edge of the world, the farthest the man can ever go. Now, yes, we were all really excited. We were excited because we wanted to see our first iceberg. It does look beautiful, doesn't it? We were excited because of the uncertainty of what really lay ahead. We had no connection of contacting our parents back home or reaching our family or friends, letting them know of our well-being. But we wanted to really experience what Antarctica was all about and what climate change was doing to a place like Antarctica. We saw icebergs. I can't even begin to describe how beautiful this place is. It is a fantasy land. We were told it would be the journey of a lifetime. But believe me when I tell you this, it was not the journey of a single lifetime, it was the journey of many lifetimes. What I also saw was the Milky Way galaxy. Now many of you may not be aware, but from Antarctica you get the direct view of the Milky Way galaxy, and that image there is captured by my own camera, and if you see the tiny dots out there lying at the bottom are us who slept under the open skies. It may sound all that adventurous, but believe me, it was probably the most torturous moment ever when you have ice or snow falling on your face. We have to spend entire nights sleeping when the winds are blowing at an insane velocity at sub-zero temperatures. Believe me, it wasn't pleasant, and all you wish is for a warm bed. But yes, it was all worth it. It was worth it because, as insane as it may sound, we did the polar plunge, jumped into the polar waters, we trekked through the dangers of crevasses in Antarctica. I saw penguins. Yes, I did. And believe me when I say this, they are the cutest and the most adorable creatures on this planet Earth. I saw leopard seals. I saw the killer whales as well as the albatrosses. Things that we only hear of or probably just read of in books. Yes, it was all really exciting. But what I also saw was a sperm whale. Now for you and me, sperm whale would be just any other name. But what I saw and what many of us saw was the happiness on the faces of not just the crew, not just the sailors, but also the captain, because this very particular whale was believed to have gotten extinct. Our ship stopped for 2 hours just to ensure that this was the very whale that they thought it to be. That happiness touched me. While things may look all that great then, what I also saw was a toothbrush. Now, it may seem confusing to you as to what was a toothbrush doing in a place like Antarctica. And yes, we were equally confused. Because as per the treaty, Antarctica is to be a place where there should be no human intervention. It should be the place where there should be no oil drilling, there should be no sign of any human evidence being left behind. But there we found a toothbrush. How did it reach here? Now we can say that what we do here sitting in Hyderabad will not really have an impact on our climate anywhere, but it did. It could have been one of us flipping this toothbrush mindlessly in one of the Goa's sunburned parties and thinking that it's not really harming our environment. But yes, it is. This very toothbrush and many other plastic samples that we saw there were being chewed upon by the wildlife, thinking it to be food. Forget about Antarctica. Let's take an example of closer home. Very much in Hyderabad, we hear of instances of cows chewing on the plastics and plastics finding a way to enter into our very food chain. Now, was that not hard-hitting? Another fact. That very month, this was March 2015 when I went to Antarctica, and that very month, scientists reported, was the hottest day in the history of Antarctica. Parts of Antarctica were even warmer than many other regions of Australia. We saw ice disintegrating and breaking into the sea. Icebergs disintegrating in front of our own very eyes. These are some of the pictures that we captured just to give you a glimpse of what really was the situation. NASA confirmed this fact as well. NASA actually reached out to Sir Robert Swan and our team to really tell us that it is the time where all of us need to combine together to really spread awareness of what climate change is doing to a place like Antarctica. That image that you see there is actually an image of a big Larsen B ice shelf that has broken itself from the mainland and is drifting into the main sea. That very image is the proof, is the living proof that we and many others who were there with me saw it with our very own eyes, is the fact that climate change is approaching faster than we would like to believe it to be. This iceberg is as huge as 1 cubic kilometer in volume. it's as big as being able to provide ice cubes to the gin and tonic of the entire human population for the next 300 years. So that's the thought I want to leave you all with, because icebergs is melting. Icebergs is melting. Thank you so much.